Welcome into the Rob Breaux Show. I am Rob Breaux. We'll be talking Wyoming today. I am the host. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by commenting on the starting line chat line here in the Diversified Lender Studios. Today we are not alone, though, in the studio with Carson Robinson alongside. Carson.
What's up? What's up?
How you doing?
Living the dream, Bobby. Living the dream.
As always, let's see. What do we have on the docket today? We have, it's game week. It's legitimately game week. Wyoming is here. We had high school football last week. We'll talk about that a little bit today as well. And the Texas Rangers. Let's do the Texas Rangers last. We can save them for the end. That's what I did on the Monday show. I just kind of railed on them at the end. They've won since.
They've won 2 games in a row since you did that. So, yeah, let's keep doing that.
Maybe we got them going a little bit, but otherwise, eight game win streak, 8 game losing streak, all in the same. A couple of them all in the same month is just wild. They've losing streak, winning streak, losing streak. If it was all jumbled up and you were just kind of winning and losing all at the same time, it wouldn't feel as bad, I guess. But the losing streaks have really been killer. Anyways, I said we were going to talk about them at the end. We will. Let's talk about Wyoming first. Craig Bowl. Wow, that did not sound right, but I knew it was started with a K.
C.
Starts
with C.
Yeah. Whatever. It's a K sound. Craig Ball's been there forever. Nobody ever was successful at Wyoming before him. He's had some success there. Really good coach, but he's kind of an old style pro offense that doesn't really get a lot of action. They don't throw the ball down the field a lot. If Tech gets an early lead, it's kind of over, right?
Yeah, I mean, and plus, the talent of the depth chart will shine through towards the end of the game too. But yeah, Craig Bohl's going to line up in, the old school West Coast offense, kind of what you saw from the old, the USCs of the world back in the early 2000s. Yeah, they're going to line up. They'll run out of the shotgun some, but they'll also go under center quite a bit. Run the football. They'll run, pull the guards, pull the tackles, and run old school football at you. And for Texas Tech, you don't see that a ton in the Big 12, other than maybe at Kansas State is a replica sort of it. It's a new new generation of what this offense looks like. And Craig Bohl was the head coach at North Dakota State when Chris Kleiman was his offensive coordinator at North Dakota State, or defensive coordinator at North Dakota State. So before he was elevated as the head coach. So it's a North Dakota State, that ground and pound hardcore, we're just a blue collar team. And we want to enforce our will upon you. But it is one of those too, Robbie. Like you said, if they get behind, it's tough for them to catch up, because that's just not who they are. They're not a quick score, quick strike type of offense, unless it's a play action. Their quick strike is off of a play action.
You likened it to USC. That it's USC without all the athletes, though.
Right. It's USC without Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. And right. Yeah, I mean, you don't have any of those guys that the Trojans had back when they were winning national titles. But yeah.
So Wyoming was 7-6 last year. Texas Tech 8-5. Wyoming again, the grinding run control style. Texas Tech, not the opposite, I would say, but pretty much the opposite, as much as you can get as an opposite. With you're still going to run the ball, but this is the Bailey Zappi, Zach Kitley offense that could explode in year 2 here with Tyler Shuck. If I gave you some prop bets on plays run and run to pass ratios, and I said it was, 70-30 pass to run, would you be upset? Would you say that's wrong? Do you think it'll be closer to 50-50?
30 for Texas Tech, 30% run?
I
would take over as far as the run percentage goes at 30%. I think it's going to be closer to around 40, just because I think late in the game you're going to run the football a lot, because I think you'll have a lead. But I also think you'll see Baron Morton some if you have a lead too.
Depending on the lead?
Yeah, depending on the lead. If it's a 3 or 4 touchdown lead, I think you'll see him. But I also think that you want Tyler Shuck to get as many quality snaps in as he possibly can here in week 1. And because you have the Oregon Ducks coming in next week. So, great points on the chat line, by the way.
Read them out.
The starting line counseling chat line, that is.
That's right.
Yeah, Haley said it's a second monitor distraction from actual work. Likewise. Yeah, and then Daniel Lockhart said Titus Swin to the NFL. Yeah, that big time hurt for Wyoming there from last season. And then their starting transfer running back. He is out for this game. I believe he's been listed as out and not available for this week. So
He's out.
That hurts them as well as far as the run game goes. But it's like anything else. They don't have just these superstar athletes that are gonna just jump off of a page at you, but they'll have an offense that can hold the football. They can make it to where Texas Tech doesn't have a time of possession like they want to, and give you 1 or 2 possessions a quarter. That's what Wyoming wants.
Wyoming is 16-1 since 1993 when opening the game of the season at Wyoming. They beat Missouri in 2019 and took down Virginia in 2007. They also beat Texas Tech in 1991? I think Joey McGuire said. Joey said they were 17-point favorites and lost 21-17, I think. Another point, the elevation of Wyoming. Laramie, Wyoming, I believe, is the highest stadium in the country, elevation-wise. At 7,165 feet. Texas Tech is at 3,202 feet. Will the elevation be a factor?
I mean, they're going to Colorado today to get acclimated to the elevation. They're going to Fort Collins. That's not too much lower than where Laramie is. They'll practice at Colorado State University on their field. Beautiful facility, by the way, that Colorado State has built in Fort Collins, Colorado. But I don't know that the elevation is going to affect them too much. It obviously is going to be different as far as guys getting winded early, and that might be a little different for them and having to go grab some oxygen when they come off of the field after their drives end or a touchdown or whatever you have it. But I don't think it'll be a distraction or a crutch that anybody leans on. That's for sure. Joey McGuire might need some oxygen the way he works the sideline and everything too.
I was going to say maybe early it could be a factor, but I feel like you get into the game and you're going to play so many guys. Maybe the offensive line is one position that might struggle the most because I don't think you're 15 deep there, but I think you're 10 deep. I think you have two rotations that can stack up to Wyoming. Now, I know Wyoming's defensive line plays really, really hard. That's kind of their MO. But I don't think this offensive line is going to struggle like they struggled last year, even at the elevation.
No, I don't think it. I don't think that'll be the case. And like you said, offensive and the defensive lines, I think, will be the ones that might struggle a little bit as far as tapping out, early, needing a breather early. But other than that, I don't think you're looking at anything that's going to be too extravagant where it just becomes this Achilles heel of Texas Tech, and that's why they can't come out of Laramie, Wyoming with a win. I don't see that happening.
What are you thinking about the spread? You think Texas Tech will cover?
Yeah, what was it today? I didn't look at it. See,
14.
Is it still 14? Yeah, I think they cover. I think they cover easily, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like I would consider betting like up to 17, and they might win by 20.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know that I would bet at 20.
no, I'm probably not laying anything down at that point. No,
but I think they can win by 20.
Yeah, if you give me 14 or 17, I'm good with laying a little bit down on those.
All right, let's go around the rest of the Big 12. I'm going to read them. Stop me if you want to talk about a game because some of these are just
Yeah, most of them.
Kent State, UCF minus 36. Missouri State, Kansas, no line on this one. It's on ESPN Plus. That's on Friday night. The UCF game's on Thursday, tomorrow. Otherwise, it's Colorado TCU. We can talk about this one for a second. TCU minus 20.5. I have Colorado here just based on pure funniness that it would be that they could cover and win. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I mean it's Chandler Jones's show now in Fort Worth. It'll be interesting to see how that works, what it looks like.
Chandler Morris.
Chandler Morris, not Chandler Jones. Chandler Morris. Thank you.
Yeah.
You
Took me a
know,
second.
yeah, no. As soon as I said it, I was like, I don't think that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
Chandler Morris. Thank you.
Chandler Jones could probably run for
Chandler Jones probably could. Yeah.
I don't know if he can throw the ball.
But yeah, I think that Colorado, I mean, it'll depend on what you get out of Shedeur Sanders. What is the it's a whole new program in Colorado. I mean, they got new guys. It's hard to say who's going to do what because you don't have any returners hardly at any of the positions that stuck around and they're there from last year. So
right.
It's kind of a toss up of what Colorado is going to look like. TCU returns a few players from last season's roster that went to the national title game. I think that leaves them a little bit hungry, but it also could be one of those things where they have some growing pains at the quarterback position early. So I don't know. I'd take TCU, but I want Colorado to win, if that makes sense.
At least cover.
Yeah, at least cover.
I mean, the total's 63.5. The line is 20.5.
I definitely would take the under in the 63.5.
Yeah, I think I would too. I mean, that is a tall task.
That's 63.5 tall task for two teams that are starting out pretty much. Colorado's brand new and a new quarterback at TCU.
Yeah. The total is 50.5 for the Tech game, by the way.
That's really low. Give me the over. Yeah, Tech will score at least 40, I think.
Arkansas State, Oklahoma. That's kind of a sneaky game. It's 35.5, but
yeah, Butch Jones.
Arkansas State, not a bad team. You might see some action there. Northern Iowa at Iowa State. This
always
game
dangerous.
Interesting. Iowa State fans like Cyclone Larry 69 are saying, don't worry about the betting probe. We're better off without Hunter Deckers, yada, yada, yada. You're fresh at quarterback again. You lost your best running back, who was supposed to be the heir apparent to the last guy, who's now
Purdy?
the Jets. No,
the Jets. Brees Hall.
Brees Hall. Man, we've been really bad with names.
They all run together after a certain time, man.
It's week one. We'll get into it.
They all run together.
This Northern Iowa's beat them before. I mean, this is a game you're looking at and saying, man, I'm staying away. I'm not going to bet on it, but I'm certainly going to be watching Northern Iowa, Iowa State.
Yeah, I mean, I love this game. Actually, every single year I look forward to watching Northern Iowa play either Iowa or Iowa State, and because they always have the opportunity to beat them. Because Northern Iowa is one of the top tier FCS teams every single year. They're always in the FCS playoffs. They're always deep in the FCS playoffs, and Northern Iowa's
that game's their Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you beat Iowa or Iowa State, whichever one you play that year, you win bragging rights over the whole state for the most part. So screw the Cyhawk Trophy. If I beat the team that I play that year and then they win the Cyhawk Trophy, vis-a-vis, that means I win the state of Iowa. So, I like this game. I'm definitely going nowhere near it as far as putting down any stock in it. But yeah, I like the matchup.
Up next, Rice, Texas. Any thoughts there? Yeah.
Blowout.
Yeah.
Rice stinks.
Rice is terrible.
They're so bad.
Eastern Kentucky, Cincinnati. Southeastern Missouri. Yeah, go ahead.
The Colonels aren't bad. I mean, they weren't bad last year. They've done some things at Eastern Kentucky, but in Cincinnati, what are they going to look like with new head coach, new ball coach there in Cincinnati? So maybe tough sledding for the Bearcats early, but I think they'll pull it out.
Daniel hit the CU money line. Colorado will either lose by 40 or win late.
That's probably going to be true.
Yeah. I hope it's close late. That would be hilarious to me.
Me too.
Southeast Missouri State, Kansas State.
Blowout.
Baylor, Texas State. I think this will be closer than last year, but I don't think it's going to be close. Baylor scored like 60 on them last year. It was like 60, 67-3 or something.
Texas State is not good.
No. New coach?
Yes. Spavital's out.
Spav.
I don't know where he went.
Let's skip this one. Central Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Nah. Sam Houston, BYU. 20-point line.
Sam Houston's first ever FBS game. They are now a member of the Conference USA.
You saw what Jackson State did?
Yeah. And so Sam Houston State, and don't shrug off Sam Houston State. They dangerous ball club there going to Provo.
Drew on the starting line, chat line, doesn't get much better than some bro show on game week. Yeah.
That's a fact.
Oh, yeah. Roy says, surprise blowout. Rice blows out UT while they're looking at Bama.
If that happens, I will no longer believe in anything.
Yeah. All right. Two more games that are really good. UTSA Houston and then West Virginia Penn State. Penn State is a 20-point favorite. But it's one of the marquee games in the Big 12 this weekend.
Yeah, and it's the big game on the Big 10 on NBC.
Yeah,
their first ever Peacock game. So, West Virginia, I guess we'll learn a lot about Neil Brown and his ball club. If they go into Happy Valley and just get blown out, then it's just going to be a rough year for Neil Brown. Penn State, I think they're good. I think that they'll contend for that division of their division in the Big 10 this year. James Franklin kind of needs that to keep that job.
Yeah.
I think they're getting kind of unsatisfied with being middle of the road in the Big 10 and going to bowl games at Penn State. That's just not what you can get done at Penn State. Even though it's just a different era now than it was back when Joe Pa was really doing things at Penn State. But West Virginia is going to have to play really well to win. They are. I don't know that I would put the money on Penn State to cover. I think West Virginia can keep it close.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to – Neil Brown's going to have to pull some things out late to – if they have a chance, he's going to have to really coach and show us that he can coach because I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't either. I was trying to say something nice, but
I can't. I mean, it's hard to say anything nice. He hadn't proven he can win games when it's close. Sucks. When it comes to nut cutting time, Neil Brown can't get it done.
He should have beat Texas Tech twice more than he did, or he never beat him, but he should have beaten them twice, and he just stopped running the ball for no reason. And this year, he needs to run the damn ball. If Neil Brown doesn't run the damn ball this year, I'm going to be very upset.
Send him a hat.
They've got C.J. Donaldson. They have pretty much nothing else. They have Garrett Green, who is a running quarterback. Run the damn ball, Neil Brown.
Just send him the hat, Rob.
I need to.
Send him the hat.
I need to get a blue and gold one and send it down there to him.
Yep, that's all you got to do.
Final game of the weekend for the Big 12, man. With 14 teams, it's going to take a while to do these previews every week.
No kidding.
Until we get to Big 12 play, and then there's going to be 7 a week. UTSA and Houston, which I say is the game of the week in the Big 12. It's at least the most competitive as far as the lines go. And this could be danger zone for Dana Holgerson. He pulled it out last year against UTSA at UTSA in overtime. But this is a 2-point line. UTSA is actually favored right now in Houston. UTSA -2. The total at 60. What are your thoughts?
If Dana loses this game and ends up not doing well in the Big 12 this year and gets fired, then it's going to be Jeff Traylor's team next year in Houston. I mean, that's what's going to happen, right? It seems like that's
depending on Jimbo.
True. Good point.
That could be a race. That could be a race for Traylor.
Race for Traylor. That's true. That's true. That would be interesting because then it would come down to whichever school fires their head coach first is the school that's going to get Traylor.
Yeah, there's some sweepstakes there.
I mean, I think at the end of the year, he's the number one guy in my book to go off the card. He won't be at UTSA next year if they continue to have the success that they've been having, and I think they will continue to have the success that they've been having. Man, I like UTSA in this, even though I think Donovan Smith is going to help the Houston offense more than he'll hurt them, more than what they've had in the last couple years. But I don't know that they're going to be good enough to beat UTSA. I think UTSA is a strong ball club. I think they're a team that wins that conference in the Conference USA again, and they win it easily this year.
AAC
and the American, actually, yeah. They're in the American. I forgot they moved. So
they'll be competitive in the American. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know that they'll go undefeated in the American like they've been going in the Conference USA. But I think they have a chance to win their division in the American for sure.
A couple of power rankings. It is Power Ranking Wednesday. Power Rank Friday night road trip stops. Allsup's, Small Town Diners, and Buc-ee's. Starting Allsup's easy. That's number one. You know, I've never stopped at a small town diner. I've stopped at a Waffle House on a road trip. I've stopped at George's and Post, but I went to Post on the road trip. So I don't know that that counts. I went to Jackson Bros one day at a Christmas vacation just because I was bored and wanted to get out of the house. I guess Buc-ee's would be second, and then small town diners would be third for me.
Yeah, start Allsup's just because that's a staple. Got to get a gut bomb on a road trip on a Friday night. Small Town Diners would be number two. One of the best meals I've ever had was on a Friday going through Seymour, and we stopped at the Maverick Cafe. Homemade, hand-cut French fries, hand-breaded chicken fried steak.
Now, if I
give me some of that all day long.
Trips, maybe so. Maybe a few more small town diners.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then Buc-ee's, obviously, we don't have any around here in Lubbock. So, and Buc-ee's is cool, but I'm not like stopping at Buc-ee's before. I'd go to Allsup's before I go to Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Star bench cut, Mariners, Rangers, Astros. We'll power rank the three. And right now it's the Mariners, the Astros, the Rangers, right? Or did the Astros take the lead last night?
No, they're all tied. Everybody's tied. Those three teams are tied in first place in the AL West. It's dead heat.
Dead heat, it is.
Dead heat in the AL West.
75, 57, 75, 57, 76, 58.
Yep.
Wow. So the Astros are going to get Lucas Giolito.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, right? What the Angels did yesterday. Just insane.
Let's talk a little more football and then get back there.
Yeah. But yeah, I would go the way they're playing right now, Mariners, Astros, Rangers in that power ranking. Yeah. Which leaves the Rangers out of the playoffs, by the way.
That hurts.
Yeah.
Power rank these datings. Speed dating, blind dating, master dating. Have you ever heard of master dating?
I don't even know what master dating is.
It's when you date yourself. So you buy yourself flowers, you go out to the movies alone, you hit the movies, then you go to dinner alone. You text yourself how good you look. It's that kind of stuff.
Can't just look in the mirror and tell yourself?
I guess you could do some positive affirmations there in the window. I would start blind dating. Power ranking would go number 1, blind dating, number 2, master dating, and then number 3, speed dating. I don't think I would like speed dating.
Yeah, I don't think I would like speed dating. I would go I don't like blind dating. I don't like the unknown. Master dating, blind dating, speed dating. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I can date myself. We both know that.
Yes. Going to Post is not much of a road trip. No, it wasn't, but I wanted to go to Jackson Bros, and then I stopped at George's for some breakfast enchiladas.
That's
those Spanish desayuno.
Those are good. Those are good.
They are very good.
And then if you can't get into George's, then you just go to Holly's.
Yeah. So I almost went to Holly's, but
I don't know if Chappa's is still open or not, but that place after the lake hit home really well.
I don't think it was when I was there because it was like Monday or Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, they're not open. Yep.
That deep fried pizza from Allsup's is chef's kiss. I don't think I've ever had the deep fried pizza.
I've never had the deep fried pizza, but I'm going to have it now. Roy is talked me into it, really pulling my arm right there to get a deep fried pizza.
All right, let's talk a little Estacado football before we move on to baseball talk. Bobby Ross, last week you called the game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can get close to the numbers. He had 15 carries for 270 odd yards,
262.
5 touchdowns.
Yep.
And then I'm sure some defensive stats as well.
Yeah, he had a sack on defense, a few tackles on defense. The kid's a freak.
But 15 carries, 270 yards, 5 touchdowns is a pretty decent day's work.
Well,
and the first one was an 80-yard carry for a touchdown.
He had the first play of the game was an 81-yard one cut all the way down the sideline touchdown, and then he had a 90 just to say, I can do it all. 92-yard carry in the third quarter for a touchdown, where he just broke through a couple arm tackles at the line of scrimmage and then just busts out, and it looks like Greenwood has him dead to rights, and he just breaks free and runs right by the guys, and they didn't know what they missed. So the kid's a freak athlete. He's a 4-star recruit. He is a can't miss on guy for this Texas Tech coaching staff. And then his little brother, and he's only a junior. So he's 6'3", 230 as a junior, runs about a 4'5", 4'6", 40. His little brother's a sophomore in Cedric Ross, not as big as Bobby, but Bobby last year was only about 5'10", close to 6 foot. This year he's 6'3". So, and he looks every bit of the part of a Division I athlete. Like, he could skip his senior year of high school if that was possible, and like some basketball guys do, and go straight to college and be a starter at the Division I level, I believe.
He could look like Derrick Henry next year.
He literally could. He runs a lot like Derrick Henry, just faster. He is faster than Derrick Henry. It's insane. I'm telling you.
When you talk about recruiting, you talk about recruiting locally, you talk about recruiting West Texas. That's the kid you're talking about.
This is the guy. He is the can't miss. He's the can't miss. You cannot miss on this kid. He is special.
I understand getting guys from Legacy and Mojo and Tascosa and Post. You're getting around West Texas, but you also have to – you can't let a 4-star kid leave Lubbock.
No, he's the best player on the South Plains. He's the best player from El Paso to Lubbock and from Lubbock to the Metroplex. Before you get into the Metroplex, he's the best player in this part of Texas. And he's one of those guys that you just can't let leave this city. He can't leave. He's got to be one of your top guys of this 2025 class coming out next year. And obviously, he's a junior this year. Like I said, he grew a ton during the offseason. He just looks the part. I mean, if you have time and you live in Lubbock, they're in Dumas this weekend, so it might be hard for you to watch. But when Estacado's back in town, just go to an Estacado football game and then come back and tell me you don't want Bobby Ross on the roster next season. Yeah. Like, that's how good this kid is. And it's not just because Greenwood was a bad team. Greenwood was a pretty good football team.
And they have been. They have been on them.
Yeah. And so anytime you can score 5 touchdowns and just look like you're a man amongst boys playing the game, that's when you jump off of a page. And Bobby Ross's film just jumps off at you right there in that first game. As a junior. He's gonna have multiple offers by the time, and he already does, by the North Texases and the Rice. Texas Tech has offered him already, I believe. But UTSA is one of his top teams right now with Jeff Traylor. Obviously, that dude's recruited him since he was a freshman, sophomore in high school. So kid's a freak athlete. His little brother Cedric is a year younger. He runs a 4.3, 4.4 40, and he's only a sophomore in high school. He'll grow into his body. He'll get bigger. If you could get those two kids, I mean, and Estacado's got a couple more that you might want too, but it's an athlete factor over there. Coach William Blaylock has done a fantastic job since coming in for Joe Cluley. Haven't skipped a beat. And Joe Cluley did such a great job with that club after Marcus Shavers left. What Cluley did cannot be understated, and where he left the program for William Blaylock to come in and just keep having success. And Coach Blaylock is one of the best human beings you'll ever meet too. So
absolutely.
They're doing it right on the east side, and Bobby Ross is dangerous, man. Dangerous.
All right, let's talk a little Major League Baseball. Dallas Braden said it best that what the Angels did was a real life rage quit. They did. They just quit. They cut or DFA'd, whatever the vernacular
designated for
phrase.
assignment. Yeah, put them on waivers. Yeah.
Lucas Giolito, a couple of relievers, and some outfielders, just because they're down 12 and a half games, and now they're, I guess, going to shut down Shohei.
Yeah, they're going to shut him down.
I mean, is he even going to bat the rest of the year?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll DH him every now and then or what that means. But
did you also see that they were at Crossways? They also leaked some Shohei, I guess, negative press. I don't know what you call it, but the Angels were like, well, we told him to get an MRI and he refused. So they're already starting that kind of narrative.
They're trying to muddy the waters so that no other club comes after him, and so that they can drive that price down. Because if nobody else is in the game coming after Shohei Ohtani, and they're offering him pennies on the dollar for really what he's worth, they're offering a $300 million contract instead of this $500 million plus that we all been talking about for the longest time. I think that's what the Angels are doing, which I guess business wise, it's a great move. Being a good person wise, it's a real D head move. You know, like that's not what you do to the superstar, the most noticeable, most influential player in baseball right now is Shohei Ohtani, and it's not even close.
Dragging him.
And now they're just trying to muddy his name and muddy up the waters around what he did it to himself. It wasn't us,
Right.
We told him to do all these things. He didn't do it. He's a terrible clubhouse guy. Not the case at all. We haven't heard anything like that until this past week when the Angels just said, you know what? Screw it. We're done. I think the GM's trying to get fired, to be honest with you. I think he just wants out. And he's just like, you know what? Let's just burn it all, boys. We're leaving. Let's burn it all. Burn it all to the ground.
All right. So power ranking some Major League Baseball here. The Orioles standing strong. The Braves standing strong. We'd go Braves, Orioles, Rays third. I mean, they're the Dodgers, Rays right there. Then the AL West.
Yeah, the AL West. That's right.
All three.
The top three. Yeah, the top three in the AL West.
Any way you want to say it, that is the top six. Those three, the Orioles, the Rays, the Braves, the Dodgers, that's the top four, I guess. And then the rest of them, if you want to get a fifth team, it's whoever wins today out of the AL West.
Yeah. True. Yeah, whoever loses today, if two teams win and one team loses, that's who's out on that one right there. But yeah, man, I don't think anybody's going to beat the Atlanta Braves. No. I just don't see it happening. The Atlanta Braves are just a complete ball club unless somebody gets hurt here late.
If you had to get a future market there. Toughest schedules left, remaining strength of schedule. This is from Tyler on the Discord. If you want to join the Discord for the Gambling Gauchos, patreon.com/GamblingGauchos. Free plug there. The eighth strength of schedule, the eighth toughest would be Seattle. Their toughest remaining, they have 7 against Texas, 3 against Houston, 3 against the Dodgers, the Rays with 4 games against the Rays, and then 3 against the Reds. Texas is the 15th toughest schedule left, with 7 against the Mariners, 3 against the Astros, 4 against the Blue Jays, 3 against the Red Sox, and 3 against the Twins. The Astros have the 27th toughest schedule remaining.
Of course they do.
6 against the Royals. They get to play the Yankees.
The Yankees. That's what they are. They're the Yankees this year.
The Yankees, the Padres, and the A's.
They're the Yankees is what they are.
And then they have 1 against Boston. I guess that's a makeup game. 3 against Arizona, 3 against Seattle, 3 against the Orioles, and 3 against the Texas Rangers.
Go Orioles late in the season. Let them sweep them.
I mean, the Astros are going to win the division, right?
Sounds like it.
They have the easiest schedule.
Sounds like it. But
How
it's
tough
Major League Baseball, so you never know.
How tough would it be for the Rangers to have this season and to lead the league, to lead the West
Every month but the last month.
for so long and then not go to the playoffs at all?
That might be the most disappointing year in Texas Rangers fandom history, right?
I mean, it
And
would be
in that
brutal.
clubhouse too. Like, it's just demoralizing. You've been so good for so long, and then you feel like just the injury bug bit you at the worst time it could possibly do it. Takes down your rookie of the year third baseman, one of the top line starters in Major League Baseball in the AL this year, and Nathan Eovaldi takes him down at a time when you couldn't afford to have him go down. So, man, Jonah Heim's been hurt, and he has not been the same. He did hit a grand slam the other day in Minnesota, even though, and then the bullpen blew the lead, and they lost the game again in extra innings.
You have like 8 blown saves in 6 games.
It's so bad. That was the early part of the year. That was the rough part for this Rangers ball club, was the back end of the bullpen. You're blowing saves. And then Will Smith kind of stepped in there and kind of solidified the closer role for you, because Jose Leclerc was so bad early in the year. And then you thought at the trade deadline, you get a Aroldis Chapman, you get guys like that can kind of bridge the gap and late back into the bullpen. And now it's just, it hasn't worked out for the Rangers the way that you wanted it to here lately. And man, it just feels like you can have a big week right here. You can just right the ship. You've won 2 in a row. Go win 6 in a row. Actually, you know what? Go win 3 in a row right now. Then make it 4, then 5, then 6. Get on another roll. Start playing your best baseball again. Maybe Josh Young comes back in a week or 2, and then you can roll into the finish line and kind of just roll in with your, ankles taped up, your head is strapped up with bandages, and you look just the most damaged you possibly could, but you're in the playoffs. You just got to give yourself a chance to get to the playoffs and make some noise.
Well, and with the extended wild card, you still have a chance. It's
That's
not
what
like
I mean. Yeah.
You'll play in that game 163.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, I think
something really bad would happen. You'd have to go on another 8-game losing streak, because the Blue Jays, I think, are still 3 games back.
Yeah.
So you still have a chance. We're not saying it's over. Still playing that 163, which I hate, but is what it is.
Mm-hmm. I hate the 1-game thing.
Yeah. Again, it is what it is.
Because and it hurts because they don't let you set up your rotation the way you want it to, because it's literally a day after the regular season's done. So it just depends on where you're at in your starting rotation. How good are you going to be that day? So, and I guess Bruce Bochy could, if he figures out that they're going to be in that role. If it is looking like that, then you kind of set your starting rotation up for that. But I don't know. It depends on what the standings look like here late in this month.
They don't do the 1-gamer anymore, do they? They do the 2 out of 3.
It's a best of 3. Yeah.
I forgot about. Did they start that in 2020?
Yeah, with the COVID year, when they had all the
they expanded the playoffs, and it was like, it's just for this year, and
then they kept it because the CBA, they wanted it. Yeah. The Yankees.
I think you'll be in the playoffs regardless. I think you're in a good position.
You say that now, and then you lose 8 in a row, and then
well, you've done that twice already, so you certainly could do it again.
Yeah,
but
really wish the Rangers would have got Jordan Hicks instead of him going to Toronto.
Yes,
Jordan Hicks would be really nice to have right now in the back end of that bullpen.
Have you seen Cole Reagans?
No.
Cole Reagans is setting a record for strikeouts in the month of August for the Royals, and he just went 7 innings yesterday.
Wow. Good for him.
Of incredible ball.
Who did you trade? Who did you trade for him?
He's throwing 100.
Well, yeah, he threw gas. He's always throwing gas.
I think he just cut him. I think he just waved him.
Really? You waved him at spring training?
I thought he was in the Aroldis deal with the Royals.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I forgot that's where Chapman came from.
Yeah. Because that was right before July.
Yeah.
But he's going to have the most strikeouts in August for a Royals pitcher ever.
Good for him.
No.
Good for him.
Do that in Texas. Why
It's
did
not his fault he got traded.
It's his fault he never did it in Texas.
That's true, too. That's a great point. Great point.
Other news going on this week, NFL 53-man rosters got set. No surprises with the Cowboys, I don't think. At least not to me. No big surprises.
No, everybody's making a big deal out of Deuce Vaughn making the roster, but I figured he'd make the roster anyways. Yeah. He's too freaky of an athlete and a return man to not make the roster.
And you kind of already have that guy on the roster, but you're not gonna leave Deuce Vaughn off.
No.
With Kevontae Turpin.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been fumbling a lot.
Now you have two weapons.
Yeah, you absolutely do. But one surprise that I had was Sir Roderick Thompson not making the Seattle Seahawks roster after scoring a touchdown in 2 different preseason games.
Yeah, I was surprised at that.
He had a pretty good game.
And I think that he'll get signed to the practice squad and he'll be, there in Seattle. And if something happens and an injury, somebody doesn't perform the way they want them to, then Sir Roderick will be the next guy up. But yeah, it's a little disappointing, but for an undrafted free agent to have the kind of, and he could be one of those guys who somebody else sees his tape and picks him up here in the next couple of days for their 53-man. So, and then they drop somebody else because you still have another week before the season technically starts. So, I think he performed well enough for maybe someone to give him a chance, but if not, then staying in Seattle and being around and doing the things right. And maybe, he gets a chance later in the season. Who knows?
Yeah. And I think Seattle's just such a good fit for him. I wanted him on that roster.
I agree. It's a good fit because it's just a run heavy offense, that Pete Carroll offense, much like what we're going to see with Wyoming on Saturday. So that old school West Coast, grinded out offense. And they're not going to throw it a ton because Geno Smith.
No, Geno Smith. Oh, Geno Smith was good last year.
He was good. He was. I'll give it to him. He was good last year.
I think the best or one of the best QBRs last year.
Yeah, it was his best year in the NFL by far.
Oh, yeah.
And not even close.
No doubt.
And you have Drew Lock that backs him up.
All right, that's all I have. Do we have anything else we were going to talk about?
Well, and I'm sure you and Kyle have talked about this, but the trade for the quarterback from San Francisco, Trey Lance. They were talking about it on Colin Cowherd's show yesterday. And why do you trade if you're Jerry Jones? And then he said, he wasn't thinking about Dak when he made the trade. And Dak's comments come out. He's, I'm not surprised by anything anymore.
Right.
I play for the Dallas Cowboys. Nothing surprises you in this building, but just feels like, I don't know. What does Trey Lance give you as a trade commodity and then a backup to Dak Prescott that the 49ers weren't seeing because he was going to be their third string quarterback?
Yeah. He's going to be your third string quarterback too. I think if Dak goes down for a long period of time, Cooper Rush is going to play.
Yeah.
It was a 4th round pick. I think you just bought a lottery ticket.
Man. Yeah. I mean, a 4th round pick though, you can do some things with a 4th round pick, especially in next year's draft.
The Cowboys have been very good in the 4th round.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I mean. And so, it feels like, I don't know that Jerry Jones, I don't know. And sometimes he just makes moves that don't make sense, but.
Well, again, you're attributing this to Jerry Jones because he's the GM, but this is Mike McCarthy and Stephen Jones.
You think Mike McCarthy wanted Trey Lance?
Or Stephen Jones did. I don't think Jerry makes decisions like that anymore.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. It was just a weird, whenever I saw that scroll across and got the, the notification.
Do you know who Trey Lance is? He's a young Dak Prescott. And Dak Prescott's on a contract year.
True. But is Trey Lance the next guy? No.
Could be.
Biggest first round bust ever, probably.
No.
As far as what the 49ers did to get him.
Well, but that's their fault.
True. Not his fault.
No, not his fault. He shouldn't have been drafted there. He should have been a 3rd or 4th round pick.
Yeah, Roy said wasn't Dak a 4th round pick?
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
On the starting line chat line. All right. Again, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to ask you is pick your brain about the Trey Lance thing. I
Yeah,
haven't got your opinion yet.
I really don't have a lot of opinions on it. Is really
just he's a 3rd string quarterback, so who cares?
Yeah, I mean, you went and made a move. Trey Lance is a guy who didn't have a lot of college experience. I thought the year he played in San Francisco was dysfunctional, kind of a in-between gap year between that Super Bowl and when they got back to another Super Bowl or another NFC Championship game against the Eagles. Trey Lance broke his ankle last year. It's not his fault he didn't play. He won the job last year.
Yeah. I mean, they finished with their 3rd string quarterback playing for him, and Brock Purdy was their best quarterback.
They finished with their 5th string quarterback.
5th string quarterback. That's right. It's true.
2 quarterbacks. I think it was.
I forgot Purdy went down too.
Yeah, Purdy went down, and it was Josh Johnson, I think, and he got hurt, and then it was Christian McCaffrey maybe playing quarterback.
Yeah, he was just out back there in the Wildcat, throw it every now and then.
So
yeah. Alan said Josh Rosen's biggest 1st round bust, but I mean, you could throw Johnny Manziel, you could throw Jamarcus Russell in there too on those 1st round busts.
Well, Johnny went in the 20s.
True, he dropped.
Josh Rosen was number 1 overall.
Wasn't Jamarcus Russell number 1 overall to the Raiders?
Jamarcus Russell's a big time bust.
Caesura.
Yeah, I give Trey Lance the benefit of the doubt, even though they traded a bunch to go get him. Like, I think he went 3rd overall.
4th over, 3rd, 4th overall, yeah.
4th, he wasn't the first quarterback drafted, and he played like 300 snaps in college.
Yeah, North Dakota State, where he didn't throw the ball a ton.
Yeah, like who knows what he is?
Yeah,
nobody.
True.
And if they want to roll the dice with Brock Purdy past year 1, that it wasn't just a fluke of a deal. Now, Brock Purdy fits that offense. Maybe Mike McCarthy thinks Trey Lance fits the Cowboys offense better. I don't know if there's a better offense than the 49ers, but.
I don't know. Yeah.
Mike wants to run the ball, he says.
He's got Tony Pollard and those guys to do it with, I guess. If you want to run the ball, I don't know why you get rid of Zeke Elliott, but I guess because of money issues. But
yeah.
But anyway, story for next week when we talk about the Cowboys first week.
All right.
Jerry thought Trey Lance was the name of a medieval weapon.
Yeah. I still don't think Jerry's making moves like that.
Fair enough.
You can get a 15-minute consultation at startinglinecounseling.com. Chase is one of the best out there. Give you 15 minutes of his time for free. Then I'm sure you can sign up and go like the wind with Chase. He's a 2-time Texas Tech graduate. He's got 10 years of experience. It's all telehealth based, so you don't have to go into an office. You don't have to be in Lubbock. You don't have to be in Dallas. You can be anywhere, and he can take your call. Chase is very good. He operates Starting Line Counseling, so it's special to him, and it's special to me too. You can get a 15-minute consultation there at startinglinecounseling.com. Trey Lance is Mitch Trubisky 2.0. I don't think so. I mean, yes, they had the same, and I get the nickname there, but they had the same amount of playing time in college, I think.
I think Trubisky probably played a little bit more, but yeah.
He started 1 season.
True.
Trey had a year and a half, I think.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm not like a Trey Lance truther. I don't think he's going to be great, but I don't love having Cooper Rush as the solo backup every year.
I just don't get the trade because I think the Cowboys go for a quarterback in this draft.
Well, and Dak is – you're going to have to re-sign Dak if you want Dak.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think that they would try and trade picks for a higher draft pick going into this next year's drafts to draft another quarterback.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. You got
long way to go before
you
then.
got to have a good season first.
Yeah, long way to go before then.
All right. Now that's, I think, the final thought.
Yeah. I'm done. Tapped out.
Anything else? Tapped out.
Tapped out for Power Ranking Wednesday.
All right. That was the Rob Breaux Show. We'll be back on Friday with the recorded broadcast because I'll be in Wyoming. So we'll see you then.
Peace.